Remember Tiger?
Yeah, the company that made those iconic LCD handhelds back in the 80s and 90s, but somehow managing to get every licensed IP in existence and making hilariously bad console remakes of games like Street Fighter and Castlevania. Well, in the 90s, Tiger tried to rebrand themselves as a serious game company.
It's not as about the R-Zone. It's basically a Virtual Boy competitor, but instead of 3D graphics, it was just red and black LCD games strapped to your eye.
But it's true. This actually happened.
It was a terrible idea, and they instantly abandoned it. It was a head strap though. However, Tiger had one trick up its sleeve. When people realized they can make actual games and long-lasting experience. The name is...
Gamecom active.
The Tiger Gamecom is a direct competitor to the Game Boy, complete with a black and white screen for whatever reason. Its big innovation was that it can connect to the internet via dial-up. And what could you do with it?
Oh, it had calendar, calculator, email reading, and even solitaire. Wait.
Yeah, essentially it was just a PDA for business people, but aimed at gamers.
At that point, just use a computer!
The console also featured one of the first touchscreens in a handheld, which was used at the time, but reports say it was prone to failure and clunky to use with the stylus.
Our Gamecom screen is kind of busted.
Nah, I broke it.
Also, I like how the marketing made it look like the next big thing, but in reality,
Even though it was just a fucking PDA player.
Thanks to be touched!
Bro, that's very sus. Like, are you a Diddy blood or something? No way. Tiger Electronics is problematic media?
the launch titles weren't stellar either. You had Tiger Casino, which is basically a collection of card games like War and Blackjack plus slot machines.
Is high and low called Or sometimes? I thought Or was a completely different type of card game.
For me, it was the opposite. I always thought it was War. There are some general quiz games like Quiz Whiz and a remake of Jeopardy, and of course a few remakes of arcade classics like Centipede and Frogger. They ran fine enough, but given how these games are literally on every console known to man, was it really necessary to buy them on the Gamecom? Probably not.
Wait, there's updated graphics? So far, the Gamecom's just a weird hybrid device that didn't have the edge that it's promised. But here's where things get interesting.
Tiger leveraged an insane number of licensing connections to put some big name games on the console.
And the results were... interesting.
Sonic Jam was ported to the Gamecom, and it's disgusting. It includes all the 2D Sonics except the first one, thank god, but each game only has one zone and 4 acts, which is bizarre considering the original Sonic games had 2 and 3 acts. The gameplay is abysmal. The game runs at maybe 2 FPS, Sonic is slightly off center, screen crunch makes jumps impossible to predict, and enemy placement is a mess. You can play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but Knuckles can't climb or glide, basically making a recolored Sonic. And Tails has no limitations, so you can just fly through levels and win if you want.
I actually think it's fun. I actually had fun today with one.
People thought the Sonic GEA port was bad, but this takes the cake as the worst portable Sonic game of all time, honestly. Mortal Kombat's also on here for some reason. It's choppy, buggy, oh yeah, Scorpion and Sub-Zero aren't even in it.
It's like, imagine buying a Mario game where Mario is oh wait.
Then there's Resident Evil 2. Somehow Tiger managed to cram the entire story into the Gamecom. Story beats are intact, and the tank controls are sorta emulated, but Jane's story is completely removed, and half the time you don't know where you're going.
Hello?
It's objectively a worse experience than the N64 or PS1 versions. I respect the addition, but don't buy this version, honestly. In conclusion, the Gamecom was just a walking identity crisis. Was it a PDA, a teen-targeted game console? It didn't know what it was, and the mismatch killed its sales. The games, even the big-name ports, were objectively inferior to the console counterparts. It felt like Tiger just wanted to shove software onto our hardware to make a quick buck with zero solo polish.
Where's the love?
Would you rather have games, unlimited games, but no games?
I'll admit, there's more exclusives than the PS5. Compared to Nintendo's Game Boy, sure, it's underpowered compared to the Gamecom, but the company made sure to maximize its hardware to deliver classics like Mario Land, Link's Awakening, and Kirby's Adventure. Even the Game Boy Color got gems like Shantae, for example. And while for the Gamecom, its games just exist. And that's really it.
After year 2000, the console was basically on life support, getting discontinued in 2000, which also marked the death of Tiger's mainstream relevance. Overall, I'll give the Gamecom a 4 out of 10. It's pretty bad, but there's some cool ideas buried underneath, and kind of ahead of its time in some aspects.
Number 8 is that Toy Freddy, well, you know, he's kind of,
fat. I mean, come on, you know, come on, what can I say? He's gained a few pounds. I mean, look at him compared to the other animatronics on the show stage. He's, you know, rounder, more big boned, you know, ate a little bit too much pizza.